So you want to own an automated car wash, the ultimate passive income fantasy. A long concrete tube that prints money while you sleep. Buy the dirt, pour the concrete, install the brushes. Watch the suburbanites line up every Sunday morning to hand you $20 for 3 minutes of colored soap. It looks foolproof, a perfect, friction-free cash machine. It isn't. You aren't selling clean cars. You are selling real estate arbitrage, disguised as a chemical distribution facility. And that tube? It is a highly corrosive industrial environment doing everything in its physical power to destroy itself 24 hours a day. The water is just a distraction. To understand why the smartest money in private equity has spent billions buying up every piece of sudsy concrete in America, you have to look under the grate. Look closer. Entry into the wash game scales across 3 distinct, ruthless tiers. Tier 1. The bootstrapped fantasy. The self-serve wand wash. $500,000 to $1 million to buy in. 4 bays. A vacuum island. A change machine that is always broken. You think you're a real estate investor. You are actually a janitor. You are the one driving down at 2 in the morning because a teenager jammed a deformed quarter into the coin slot of bay number 3. It is low barrier, low yield, and completely hostage to local demographics. It is not passive. It is a second job that smells like wet asphalt. Tier 2. The mid-market play. The in-bay automatic. $1.5 to $3 million. These are the rollover boxes attached to gas stations and convenience stores. You drive in, you park. The machine moves around you. Labor is practically zero, but the math is suffocated by physics. An in-bay automatic can process 1 car every 5 to 7 minutes, maximum. 10 cars an hour. When the sun comes out after a snowstorm, the line backs up into the street, and frustrated customers drive away. You are capping your own revenue through mechanical limitation. You are leaving money on the asphalt. Tier 3. The Wall Street obsession. The express exterior tunnel. $4 to $8 million minimum. 120 feet of synchronized chaos. This is not a service business. This is a high-volume industrial processing plant. You can push 150 cars through that tunnel every single hour. A vehicle enters every 12 seconds. This is where the smart money plays, and it is where the financial leverage gets incredibly dangerous. Think of the express tunnel as an assembly line in reverse. Ford builds a car. You are systematically stripping away a liability, but the dirt is entirely irrelevant. The core revenue engine of the modern car wash has nothing to do with washing cars. It is the subscription model, the unlimited wash club. You are applying the gym membership psychological trap to Honda Civics. A customer pays $39 a month. They think they are exploiting you. They think they will wash their car every single day. They won't. The moment the credit card is on file, human inertia takes over. They come twice the first month, once the second month. Then they forget. You are monetizing their laziness. The financial term is churn rate. If you keep churn under 8%, you print money. If it spikes to 15%, you bleed out. Insiders obsess over 2 metrics. Capture rate, the exact percentage of passing traffic that actually turns the wheel into your driveway. You need 30,000 cars driving past daily to capture just 1%. The second is wash per ticket, the blended average of every single transaction. If your base wash is $10, but your wash per ticket is only $11, your upsell funnel is failing. The economics of the tunnel are brutal until you hit the break-even threshold. The fixed costs are monstrous. High-voltage electricity, reverse osmosis water reclamation systems, hundreds of gallons of specialized chemical surfactant. But the variable cost of washing 1 additional car, 30 cents. Once your fixed costs are covered on the 10th of the month by subscription revenue, every car that rolls in on the 11th is 90% pure operating margin. That margin is what attracts the vultures. But to get that margin, you have to engineer the environment. The physical design of the express tunnel is not engineered for cleanliness. It is engineered for psychological immersion and financial extraction. Look at the layout. The payment kiosk is pushed as far toward the street as legally permissible. Why? Sunk cost geography. Once a driver turns in and gets trapped between the concrete curbs, they cannot back out. They are committed. The transaction is forced. Then they enter the tunnel. It is dark. Neon LEDs pulse. Thick, multicolored foam drops onto the windshield. Smells of cherry and bubblegum flood the air intake. This is theatre. The tricolor foam does absolutely nothing to clean the vehicle. It is a visual and olfactory placebo designed entirely to justify the premium $25 wash package. You are selling a 3-minute dopamine hit. Carnauba wax applied in 4 seconds under high-pressure water? Chemically impossible. But the customer sees the shine, smells the chemical, and believes the narrative. But this theatre hides a massive, invisible liability. The tunnel is a hostile ecosystem. It is a war zone of water, low pH acids, high pH alkalis, and spinning metal. Bearings rust, hydraulic lines burst, neoprene foam brushes tear. A single sheared pin on the conveyor chain halts the entire operation. When a tunnel goes down on a sunny Saturday afternoon, you are not just losing $50 a minute in revenue, you are actively destroying your subscription retention. Members who pull up to orange traffic cones cancel their memberships. The equipment requires paranoid, obsessive preventative maintenance. You aren't just managing high school employees. You are fighting a daily war of attrition against friction. And friction always wins. The fatal flaw of the car wash industry is the illusion of scalability. Operators look at the spreadsheet, see 40% margins, and decide to conquer the state. They forget they are tethered to the dirt. Let's look at a capital structure collapse. In the early 2000s, peaking in the 2020s, private equity discovered the wash club model. They initiated a massive roll-up strategy. Firms bought independent operators at 15 times EBITDA, absolutely astronomical valuations for a local retail business. How did they afford it? The sale-leaseback. They would buy the wash, immediately sell the underlying dirt to a real estate investment trust, and sign a 40-year lease. They pulled their capital out on day one. But they saddled the operating business with massive lease payments. They funded the rest with floating rate debt, banking on cheap capital forever. Then macroeconomic reality intervened. Interest rates spiked. The cost of debt tripled in 18 months. Suddenly, the cash flow generated by the wash clubs couldn't cover the mezzanine debt service and the exorbitant rent. The holding companies imploded. They didn't fail because people stopped washing cars. They failed because they tried to run a localized physical asset like a hyper-growth tech conglomerate. They over-leveraged the soap. Dead. Now consider operational failure. A highly aggressive regional operator in Texas decided to crush a legacy competitor. They spent $6 million building a state-of-the-art express tunnel directly across the highway from the old wash. A brutal price war ensued. The new operator offered $1 washes for a month. They assumed superior technology and cheaper prices would win. They failed to understand capture rate geometry. The highway was a major commuter artery. The old wash was on the going-home side of the road. People wash their cars on the way home from work, not on the way to the office when they are rushing and drinking coffee. Traffic flows are asymmetric. Furthermore, a concrete median prevented left turns. Drivers could see the glowing neon of the new wash, but they couldn't physically reach it without making a 2-mile U-turn. $6 million in capital expenditure choked out of existence by a 6-inch slab of municipal concrete. Location isn't just about traffic count. It is about the psychology of the commute. Vanished. The entire economic engine collapses into one formula. Real estate visibility multiplied by subscription retention minus catastrophic mechanical failure equals yield. When executed flawlessly on the right piece of dirt, a mature express tunnel can generate net operating margins of 30 to 45%. It is a staggering return on physical infrastructure. Dan Hanna understood this. He didn't invent the car wash, but he pioneered the mechanized equipment empire that allowed the industry to scale globally. He built an empire out of Oregon by realizing that the money wasn't in the cleanliness of the car, but in the speed of the machine and the absolute control of the process. The modern car wash is a marvel of behavioral economics and chemical engineering. You aren't building a service station, you are building an extraction funnel. You lure them in with neon, you lock them into a recurring contract, and you pray the conveyor chain doesn't snap on a Saturday morning. So, you want to own a car wash. Just remember, you didn't buy a passive income stream. You bought a mechanical monster that eats electricity, bleeds corrosive chemicals, and demands your absolute, unending paranoia. Wash up.